Hey friend, it is Kate here. Thank you so much for jumping on my channel and joining me for a class today. Now I have got a 15-minute morning yoga routine just for you. This is all standing work meant to help wake up the back of our body. A lot of times in the morning, my hamstrings and my low back feel a little bit tight, and this is one of those classes, this is one of those sequences that honestly I do pretty frequently without really thinking about it, because it just feels naturally good to me to kind of move in this fashion first thing in the morning. Since it's all standing, honestly, you don't even really need a mat. You could just do it in your bedroom, wherever you're at. So, with or without a mat, let's go ahead and get started. Let's start standing near the top of our mat with our feet about hip distance apart. Go ahead and bend the knees, shake the hips a little, wake up the body, whatever's feeling good. Give yourself a little dance, I'm all for that. But eventually do stand tall and straight. Think about rolling the shoulders back. Imagine me or someone pulling your ears straight up to the sky so we can lengthen out of our waist, out of our hips a little bit more. And then begin to engage your abdominal muscles. Think about pulling the navel in. Think about that belt I often say to have around the small of your waist, just gently cinching, kind of turning on those tummy muscles a little bit more. Take one big inhale here. Big breath out. Dip your chin to chest. Bend the knees. Roll one vertebra at a time down, letting your fingertips dangle, almost like little weights are attached to your wrist and attached to the very top of your head. Take your forward fold as deep or shallow as whatever feels good for you, and pause in that spot and let your head kind of do the work for you. I think of my head as being that weight, lightly pulling my spine down, helping to stretch a little bit in the back of the body. Press down into the feet, slowly roll yourself all the way back up. One vertebra at a time. Stand tall, stand straight, find that lovely posture. And then again, exhale, chin to chest, bend the knees. One vertebra at a time, all the way until we forward fold. Head is heavy. Maybe this time give it a little nod, a little sway. Maybe even circle it around, relaxing any tension in the neck. And then bend the knees more, pull the navel away from the thighs, and roll yourself up. One last time, just like that. And then hold here for a moment. This time, instead of moving the head, go ahead and sway the hips a little. Is it nice just to go right and left, or do you want to kind of figure eight, pedaling through the feet, the legs a little? Still just waking up the spine, enjoying any movement that's feeling good in your body. Return center, navel in, shoulders down, roll all the way up. This time as you stand tall and straight, carry the hands high overhead, look straight forward, reach your hands up to the sky. Almost imagine that you're reaching for like monkey bars above your head and you're just dangling down. You're as long as you possibly can be. Take a big breath. Catch your hands behind your head, open your elbows wide, soft bend in the knees, lift out of the waist higher, roll the shoulders back, and a very light sort of look or stretch up to the sky. Think about your sternum kind of being pulled up, and then bring yourself back into alignment. Knees stay bent. Roll the shoulders again, puff the heart, the chest up, press your elbows behind you, and pull yourself back up. One more time, roll the shoulders back, puff the heart and chest up, big inhale, exhale, let it go, relax the hands, shake it out, wiggle all you want to. I want you to put a soft bend in your knees and step your left foot back for a small lunge. Now, a light bend in both knees, just like we thought about before. Reach up and away from your waist. It's like someone is physically lifting you up from those sitting bones. Open up the shoulders, belly button up and in. One more time, carry your fingertips up overhead. Think about growing long from your hips, through your side body, out your fingertips. Give them a little wiggle again. Take a big inhale. And now twist to the right, right hand back, left hand forward. Pause here for a moment. I think about a wall being in front of both of my palms, pressing into that wall so I can activate my arms a little bit. At the same time, I can reach them further away. Big deep breath. Big sigh out. Maybe turn and look towards your back hand. If that's too much, that's okay. Don't worry about it. Unravel, both hands lift high. Like we did earlier, hands behind the head, elbows wide, roll the shoulders back, puff the heart and chest up. Take that nice stretch right there. Full, big, deep inhale. Look forward, and then go ahead and bring both feet together. Soft bend in the knees, step your right foot or the opposite foot back if you did the other side. You know we're always going to do both. Not the end of the world if you did the wrong one. And like we did on the other side, soft bend in the knees. Think about pulling your front heel towards your back toes, almost creating a lift or engagement between your inner thighs so we can support ourselves as we reach our fingertips up so high. Lightly rotate those pinkies towards one another, shoulders down the back, and then twist to the left. As we did on the other side, I'm still thinking about that imaginary wall that I press into and slide away from. Full big inhale, big breath out. Unravel when you feel ready. Clasp the hands behind the head, push the elbows back, lift the heart and chest up. Nice, gentle stretch. Just enjoy that feeling. And then look forward again, walk the feet together. Same thing, bend the knees, left foot goes back, hands on our hips. And now this time I want you to straighten your front leg and maybe press the back heel down to the ground. It might not actually touch, and that's okay. And if it's too much to straighten both legs, it's okay to have a bend there. That's totally fine. What I do want us to think about though, again, is that lift, that engagement through your inner thighs. Also turning on your back glute and hamstrings. If you've taken classes with me before, you know I call it the thut. I'm thinking about squeezing my thut so hard so I can pull my belly button up and in and reach my fingertips up high. Again, maybe I'm going to press that heel a little closer towards the mat, lifting up and out of the waist. Big deep breath. Twist to the right again. No hurry, no rush. Unravel, both hands lift high. Clasp the hands behind the head, elbows nice and wide, roll the shoulders, puff the heart and chest up. Now, while I'm thinking about lifting the heart and chest up, I'm still toning those inner thighs towards one another, pulling my navel in, and letting my head kind of recline or relax in my hands. No strain in the neck. Bring your gaze forward. Now, a little bit different from this first side, hands come to the hips, and this time I want us to very lightly hinge forward. You might go a little deeper or more shallow than I do. It's okay. Now, ideally right now, let's try and go no further than me being parallel with the ground. So ideally, you kind of want your spine in line with your mat, not kind of angled or pointed down towards it. Keep pulling those inner thighs towards one another. Hold right here for just a moment. Squeeze your inner thighs towards each other. Big deep inhale. Rebend your front knee. Push into it to bring yourself upright. And then hop the feet together. Little wiggle, wiggle it out. And then bend the knees, step your opposite foot behind you. And like we did on the other side, we're going to straighten our front leg, pushing the back heel down. One leg might have more or less range of motion. It's totally fine. We're imbalanced creatures. We're never going to be fully straight or fully even, so no big deal. Belly button in, shoulders high, ears lift up. Gather your hands high overhead, lift out of the waist, and then twist to the left or towards your front leg. Unravel. Keep pulling your inner thighs towards one another, hands behind the head. Recline back. Lift the heart, the chest up. Look forward. And then hands to the hips. Keep pulling those inner thighs towards one another and then hinge from the hips. Ideally, our legs don't move. If we need a bend in either of the knees, that's okay. If we're up a little higher, that's fine. Again, I just don't want our head kind of dipping towards the ground. Squeeze your inner thighs towards one another. Pull the belly button in. Take a big deep inhale. Great big breath out. Rebend your front knee, push into the heel, bring yourself up, and step the feet together. Take a big breath, both hands lift high. This time, if you want to look up to the sky as you do that, go right ahead. As you exhale, twist to the right. Now, ideally, I do not want our hips to go with us because we actually lose some of the stretch when we let those hips go, so they need to stay facing forward as we take that twist. If you know that you have a habit of letting that go, I find it's a little easier if I bend my knees to take the twist, and I can concentrate on keeping my hips and knees still as I twist. Both hands lift high, twist in the other direction. Both hands lift high. Flip the palms, press it down. And again, let's take a little forward fold. Dip the chin to chest, bend the knees. Slowly roll yourself all the way down into your forward fold. Notice, was it a little easier to get into your forward fold? Do you have more or less range of motion than that very first set? Not a right or wrong, no yes or no. Just taking that time to notice what the different sort of stretches help our body kind of acclimate to, or where they kind of lead us into next. Give your head that gentle sway. Relax any tension from the neck. And then bend the knees. Roll yourself all the way up to standing. Shoulders nice and broad, belly button up and in. Again, soft bend in the knees. Step your left foot back. And then once more, straighten your front leg. Straighten your back leg. Press the heel towards the ground, pull the navel in. Now, if we want to this time, we can take that same hinge. If we want to go deeper, we might reach for the floor. If that is not in our range of motion, it's okay. You could bring your hand on a chair or on your wall to kind of help support you. Now, I had my head lifted. That is actually not the proper alignment. You should keep your head in line with the rest of your spine. Now, for me, I'm still pulling my belly button in and away from the top of my thigh. It's almost like I'm trying to lift that stomach away from my thigh, even though that's obviously touching, and that's okay. It's just that kind of feeling of engaging the muscle so much I could make space. Take a big breath here. Big sigh out. Rebend your front knee, push yourself all the way up, take your fingertips nice and high. Now, if we want our lunge to go a little deeper, we could hop that foot a little further back this time. No big deal if that's just not in the cards for us. Reach your fingertips up. Stretch from your hips through your body, out the hands, and twist to the right. Unravel both hands high. Catch your hands behind your head like we've already done. Push the elbows back, roll, lift the heart and chest up. Enjoy. Bring it back center. And then hop the feet together when you're ready. Shake it out. Bend the knees. Step your right foot or the opposite foot back behind you. And again, start with both legs straight if we can. No big deal if they're bended in the knees. The heels reaching towards the ground. I am turning on my thought so much. I'm lifting out of the waist. And then I take my hinge. Perhaps on this side we stay here. Maybe one side just really doesn't have the same range of motion, and that's a-okay. If we want to reach for the floor to deepen that stretch, you go right ahead. For me, again, I need to bring my head back in alignment. I have a habit of kind of craning my neck. That's also so I can keep talking to you. But do as I say, not always as I do. And think about almost pushing your sitting bones up to the sky. It's almost like you're trying to tip your tail up so we can get a deeper stretch to the back of our front leg. Now, just because I feel a stretch somewhere doesn't mean that you absolutely will. It is fine if we feel a little different because all bodies are different. When you feel ready, big inhale. Big breath out, rebend your front knee, push yourself up. And again, if we want to take this lunge a little deeper, step it a little further away, and go ahead, take your hands wherever you need to. I'm going to reach them up to the sky so once more I can stretch from my hips through my body, out my fingertips, big inhale, exhale, twist to the left. Big, full inhale, great big breath out. Lift the hands up, clasp them together, and take that nice little spinal extension. Look forward when you're ready, and go ahead and hop both feet together. One more time, both hands lift high up overhead, big giant stretch. Exhale, forward fold once more. Now I kind of did more of a swan dive down because naturally that just felt good in my body. But if you dipped your chin to chest and rolled down like we've been doing the whole time, that is okay. Always listen to what's feeling good to you. A couple of times from here, I want us to bend our knees as deep as whatever feels comfortable and perhaps straighten the legs. They might not straighten all the way, that's okay. Bend the knees, rounding through the spine, maybe even tucking the chin to the chest a little more as you do so, and then possibly straightening the legs, letting the head reach closer to the floor. Once or twice more, right here, no hurry, no rush. Depending on your body, you might be touching the ground, you might be touching your thighs or your shins. You can also start to reach for the back of your legs if you want to go just a little deeper. For me, holding on to the backs of my kind of ankles, I can really curl in, and then I think about holding and pressing my head a little closer to me. We might not have that range of motion, and that's okay. Don't worry about it. Eventually release the hands though, dangle the head, slowly roll yourself all the way up to standing. Take a moment here, close your eyes, maybe bring a hand to your heart, to your stomach, and just notice how you feel since we began class. Just a few short minutes can make such a difference in how my body feels, the mood that I'm in, and it's always good to take a moment and acknowledge those changes. Blink your eyes open when you're ready. As always, give yourself a pat on the back. Thank yourself for doing something so good and just for you. I hope you enjoyed our standing little morning yoga class, and I hope you have a truly wonderful rest of your day.